Hammond, Louisiana. December 21st, 2019. Saturday, really cold and chilly out here. We're all geared up, and in addition, it's raining. So we have a very large hotel here that we're working on, doing the sidewalks right now. I wanted to show y'all something that's quite interesting, a phenomenon that I've been dealing with for years, and I don't know if I've ever talked about it or anyone else has ever talked about it. So I'm about to show you here what I'm referring to once around this corner. And this would be in the realm of pressure hose management. So there's our trailer, of course, and we have two 8-gallon per minute, 3,500 PSI, two power washers there on the trailer mounted, as we all aware of. So now we're going to have our pressure hose coming off of the unloader. But now, whether you having your pressure hose come off the unloader or the hose reel, this is going to pertain to you. So I don't know if you can see, my hose reel is just dangling there. I just use my hose reel as a hose holder. So if I can point at it for you, if I can find my finger in the camera. Oh, wrong way. There we go. That's the hose reel, and then the unloader is going to be over here. So I just attach it to the unloader, and it's going to run this way and all the way down to that corner, which is about 250 feet, and then we're taking a hard right and going down another 150 feet. Now, what I want to talk about here is really important. This, I'm trying to use my finger as a pointer here. You find, okay, this corner right here, you need to have some slack there, and the reason being, you need to have at least 5% there of your hose length, because when this 4,000 pounds of pressure or 3,000 pounds of pressure on this surface cleaner hits it, that hose being this long is want to expand and contract. Now, if it's wrapped around that corner down on this end really tight, as it makes that right hand turn, it's going to be a tight point. Now, two reasons what we're going to do there. The reason why we have our slack way over here on this side, because that hose wants to contract and expand. And if it's contracting and expanding on, let's see, one of these corners, you know, imagine if around this 90, let's say if it was around this corner, it would rub in that area. And it's a lot of movement. It could pull off a board. That rubber's kind of sticky. It gets in little cracks and stuff, and that expansion is going to be several feet in that area, so it can pull those corner boards off or rub some damage. The second reason we don't want to do it, because it pulls so hard on that hose. So we have about 5% down there, so we got 300 feet of hose. We're gonna have about 10 to 15 feet of slack, just kind of round in the corner, nothing major. And then again, we're gonna do it here as well. So this is this end over here is important. The reason being, let me grab my hose and pull some slack, show you. And watch it hang up on me now. Gotta have my slack here as well, because it will pull on the unloader, and we definitely don't want that. And of course, this is raw footage. Sorry about all the jerking and jumping around, but just want to show you that. So now we got enough slack here. Kind of, you don't want it to hang up on nothing. Even like this wheel stop here, go over the top of it instead of it being caught on the corner. And see, this is a prime example. This hose is here, and it kind of gets binded, pulled up under there, and expansion and contracting. You're gonna rub a hole in the hose. Obviously, you're not gonna hurt this concrete. You can get a hose break there. So is watch for that hose management, and a good rule of thumb is about 5% slack. So not like that, like this, and I'm gonna keep an eye on that, make sure it doesn't get on it. So get the other hand. This is not easy with one hand. So let me spin y'all around here. Now, even again, if you was coming off of that hose reel, you don't want it yanking and pulling on those fittings. So here we're gonna Siamese kit this, because I got some large tips in that surface cleaner. I'm gonna walk down there in a minute. Some warm. Make sure I got a good flow of water. Now in a second I'll turn them off and purge them out here. Alright, both of them come to life just like that with a turn of a key. Ah man, it's so different these days. You know, I used to have a little, I had 2 or 3 of those little I call them rattle carts. You know, I mean, they'd get the job done. They would do this job 4 gallons a minute, 4,000 PSI on a cart. Usually we'd carry them in the back of a trailer, or we had a covered, back of the truck, or we had a covered trailer, just so they wouldn't get stolen, you know, and we'd have to wheel that thing all the way back there, and, you know, it has to be sitting there right there by you, rattling on the ground most of the time. God, this is so much easier. I feel sometimes I feel like I'm retired almost. I worked so many thousands and thousands of jobs by myself, and you wouldn't believe it. I would, back in the early days, before surface cleaners come out, I mean, they were out, but they were so not even worth buying. I mean, it was several $100s for a little 15-inch. Talking about the mid-90s, and they literally, you might make one pass with it, and it wasn't good. It wouldn't wash right either. You always had to go back over it with the wand. They'd burn up, man. Just, you know, they just wasn't worth it. I had 2 or 3 of them. It was just, they ended up staying in my shed, and somebody, whatever, got them, stole them from me, whatever. But getting back to my point, it wouldn't be no problem me to surface, wand wash this parking lot right here. I wouldn't dare now, but yeah, back then if a rainy day like this was my day, I would come out here and wand wash and for hours and hours. And I remember if it was raining, it would be better. You know, less rinsing I would do. So now, you know, we just use these giant power washers and walk behind a surface cleaner, and it's just, you know, I mean, you could talk on the phone while you're doing it. You got some earphones in, but yeah, a parking lot like this, I'd wand wash it. I wand wash tens of thousands of square feet a week back in the day. Now these buildings like this, what we would do back in the day is we'd have to put ladders up there, scissor lift, pump up sprayer, kind of downstream it off those sucky machines. Now I could stand back here and not get a drop of water on me other than it's raining, and shoot this building, you know, whether I'm downstreaming it, or if I was gonna use a roof pump on it, you know, of course I'd have to get a little closer, but I would just downstream this building 2 or 3 times. I'm not doing a building today, but we're gonna do all the concrete, then we're gonna come back and well, not all the concrete, we're doing the sidewalks, all the sidewalks around the building, which is a good bit, and then we're gonna come back and parking lot stripe all this junk, front and back. So we been messing with these people for a couple weeks now. Got our bid in, and now they're trying to open in a few days. So we're stuck out here doing it on a rainy day. So what I'm gonna do is turn these off. These are nice and warmed up. The exhaust is very warm. It's cold and rainy this morning. I just like to get everything nice and warm. This one here is running well. I'll go ahead and turn that one off so I can hook up my hose. I could use a ball valve here, but I find that kind of restricts my flow a little bit. I am all about the flow. So let me get this all hooked up here, and then we'll walk in the back and I'll show you what I'm looking at. Alrighty. I'm gonna set you down just for a second here on the side of the rail. Hope the phone don't fall. Just to snap this in, because because I don't have a third hand. I got a GoPro camera, but I don't even know how to hook it up. I hadn't even took it out of the box yet. So I got Siamese kit here. Both of them attached to each unloader. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little Y right there. So one there, one there. Now this is a 1/2-inch hose. I do have a 1/2-inch hose here. I'm not trying to do all that right now. I'm gonna just use my 3/8, which will be fine, because I'm not gonna be pushing. I'm gonna go at 14 gallons a minute is what I'm gonna be pushing through this surface cleaner. So these are not gonna go wide open. So bear with the noise here. We're gonna bring this pressure. We can't bring one of them at 100%. It's gonna put too much pressure back even in there. Even though there's a check valve in there, it will flow back into the pump. It ain't gonna hurt nothing, but it binds down on this starter if I try to do 100% on this machine while this machine is sitting static. So we turn both of them on. So we got both of them up and running now. I'm gonna increase this one to about 30%. Then I'll increase this one to 30%. You can hear them taking the water to load. So that means they are pushing the water. It's pushing the water all the way down there. Because the pump on the machine. It's gonna go to 60%. This one's gonna go to 60%. Alright, so it loads on. It loads at about 60%, so we get away from that noise. We're pushing probably a good 14 to 15 gallons per minute. Let me make sure my truck door is locked before I walk away from it. I don't know where my key is. Alright, we got that locked. Alright, so we got both of them up purring. Check something real quick. Now you may have just seen that battery box in between both of those power washers. That does run both power washers. Both power washers charging. I'm gonna walk back over here and show you something. It is starting to rain even harder now. Kind of get away from this so you can hear a little better. So we obviously washing all of this and all those sidewalks and canopies down that way. Now, as you see here, both these power washers are on this trailer. I can get it. And what I've done, I went with a much wider trailer than I needed, just to keep those machines away from each other, just so we don't have that thermal heat transfer between both machines when we are running. And oftentimes we do run both machines. But most of the time it's with two users, not the Siamese kit. So, but today is the Siamese kit. So one user is getting the power of both of those machines, which is incredible. If you have never held 15, 16, 17, 18 gallons per minute on the end of a gun or end of a surface cleaner, it's exhilarating to say the least if you have been power washing, especially with those smaller machines. So again, I have them separated by a couple feet, the battery box in between, and have a deep cell marine battery with both power washers start and charge off that one battery. Now that battery I bought the best battery money could buy, and it's been about a year, and I'm extremely happy with it. The battery wasn't cheap. I forget exactly what I paid for it, but it was $200 or $300, and which is, it's expensive, but in a big scheme of things, it's very insignificant for or what you're making in the power washer business. It's like that battery's 30 minutes of work. So in the power washing business, we make hundreds of dollars per hour. So as you can expect, you want to buy the best that you can get your hands on, for one simple reason: it's reliable. And there again, you not your reliability of it, and then the time that it takes to charge a battery or replace it or fix it or take it out and change terminals on it, and all of that can be time consuming. And if you're making $500, $600, $700, $800 an hour, sometimes on these commercial jobs or government jobs, if you buy the best that you can buy, it's really, in the long run, it's an insignificant cost to your business. And on top of that, your workers are not having to fix stuff. They can concentrate on power washing and being good at what they're doing. They don't have to wear several hats, being a mechanic. And so I'm making sure my slack, this is that corner that I was just talking about. It's real easy for that to get bounded up on it. So we'll make sure we got plenty slack here, and as he works his way back, I'm gonna come back and pull a little more. So this is that corner I was talking about. If it gets under there, it can contraction, like if he closes the ball valve or something like that, it will contract and expand there on that corner and get bounded up in there. And it's hundreds or maybe even thousands of pounds of pressure, that expansion there. So I'm gonna get back over here so I don't get nothing slung at me. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna be doing, then I'll let y'all go. This is just the back parking lot that we will be striping, probably at nighttime, because they're in such a hurry to get it striped. And so this, it's about the same size as the front too. And of course, we have Interstate 55 there. It runs north and south, and we are about, if you're not familiar where Hammond, Louisiana is located on the map, we are situated about 50 to 60 miles from New Orleans, by interstate, probably a little less than, as the crow flies. But now headed out north, we about 50 or 60 miles from Macomb, Mississippi. And then Jackson, Mississippi, I believe, is about another 125 miles from where I'm standing. So it's a good central location for us. West of us is Baton Rouge, which is 40 to 45 miles, but the traffic's terrible, so you're looking at an hour and 15 minutes to get downtown Baton Rouge. And then out towards the east would be the coast, the Gulf Coast, Mississippi, Bay St. Louis, Waveland, Gulfport, Biloxi. We do some work in that area, but not all that much. I don't know why. It's never really expanded out that area, but we do a lot of work out in Alabama as well, down the Gulf Coast. So sometimes we just drive right through Mississippi. But Mississippi has been on my radar for quite some time. It's within an hour reach of us. 2 hours is a stretch, and you have to be doing a big job and probably stay overnight if you're going to go on a 2-hour drive one way, especially if you're working an 8-hour shift. It's very wise of the business owner not to have those guys driving back and forth, after that many hours. So anything over an hour away, we are always staying at a hotel or lodging in or hunkering down somewhere for the night. And of course, that builds into our price, obviously, even if it means I make less money, which oftentimes when we do travel, I'll split the cost with my customer and myself. So, and then there again, it's a good morality for the guys that's traveling with you, that they have their own room and their own Wi-Fi and stuff, and they get a good night's rest. Or if we are working tonight, it'd be a good day's worth of rest. So anyway, he is right now he's pushing 15 gallons a minute or so, maybe a little less, because I got the machines at about 60 to 70%. We'll walk up here closer. Looks like it's doing a really good job. Now we will have to come back and do our trim work where the surface cleaner can't get around our little corners and little nooks and crannies, and then we'll rinse it. Although it is raining, make rinsing a lot easier. And then we'll splatter on some of this stuff down here. Usually that surface cleaner spinning, if those RPMs will splatter on the lower half, And I like to rinse up about 4, 5, 6 feet, you know, because you'd be surprised, even at head level, you know, you'll get a little grime, but not too bad. Make sure you rinse any garbage cans and touch them, you know. I always tell the guys, if you don't touch them, you don't know if it's really grimy or not. Even though you rinse it, sometimes that stuff will stick to stuff. So here he goes. He's actually doing really well. This sidewalk right here, since I've been making this video, I've made about $200. So here, run down this side, probably make another $250. And you know, this pays a whole lot of money, and very grateful to be in the business of doing this. It could, you know, could be a lot different. So, you know, if you're interested in doing this, get in contact with me. It could change your life in ways that you could never imagine. You know, it's not easy. We, you know, like I said, we are out in the rain. December 21st, 2019. It's cold out here. I got this several layers on, big waterproof jacket, couple pair of pants, and you know, I mean, you just come out here, you tough it out. But at the end of the day, you make a crazy amount of money, and you know, you can go home, make your family happy, go get a hot cup of coffee afterwards, and you know, unwind and stuff. It's very addictive type work, and it's very satisfying to be able to clean stuff. So I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna give him a hand. I'm gonna pull some hoses and be checking out for any things I might have to move down there. That way he don't have to stop just like he just did and bend over and stoop and stuff. So anyway, if y'all need my help personally, my number is 985-3450-778. My name is Billy Davidson, and I am the owner of Davidson Pressure Washer Paint, and I will talk to y'all soon.